Namaskaram and hello again. I'm Arjun or Justin. Before I get into it, Om Gam Ganapataye Namah. I hope I make a good video and it resonates with a lot of people. And speaking of which, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like it, give it a thumbs up if you do, share it, leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate that. I have, it's very few followers, but that's okay. But a couple people have reached out directly and said that the videos have helped, um, and that makes me very grateful. And um, yeah, it's a good confidence booster, but it's also reassuring to know that I'm not just talking to nobody. So, but please help me grow that channel so that I can reach more people. I'm sure a lot of you are taking care of business in your life, and that's good. But there are people out there that they do need a little boost from somebody or some insight. And hopefully, with I'm about to turn 44, so I'm not old, but I've lived a life. Um, you know, I've never been married, been close a few times. Um, and I don't have children or dependents, but you look at my social media, my like Facebook or LinkedIn, like you can see that I've done a lot. I've been a lot of places, and um, I've lived a life that most people probably don't get a chance or take the opportunity to try living in their entire lifetime, or even maybe several. And that's not to put them down in any way. You know, it's just it is what it is. I took this path, and hopefully the experiences that I have and all that education I got. I've studied at 10 different colleges and universities in 3 countries over about 20 years. And worked a lot of different jobs, lived in different states, different countries. And, you know, I feel like I have good insight, good instincts, and I'm genuine. And so hopefully that I can relay what I know or what I feel or believe to other people that might help. Um, and that's kind of a good segue into the topic today, which is what happens when you have setbacks, when you fall off the horse, when you feel like you're failing. I think you know what I'm going to say. You got to get back up. Even if it's an ugly, messy, long process, you have to find a way to get back up. Sorry, I'm like trying to avoid like pigeon turds and stuff, so I'm like felt something wet on my arm, but I think that was just all psychosomatic. um, yeah, so back to being serious. You do have to find a way, and unfortunately, there isn't always, a one size fits all method or tool or pill to make that all better. So, how do you get back up? Well, it goes back to what I've said many times, again and again. You have to introspect, you have to look within. And trust me, I know that can be very hard, very scary sometimes to do that. I get it. When the walls are crumbling around you, all your defenses are gone, all your supports are gone. Maybe you feel like everybody and everything is out to get you, or everybody's abandoned you. Maybe you feel like you're just a complete fuck up. I get it. I've been there. I have. And I don't care. Like some providers, I remember I got scolded like going through school about don't share too many details about yourself, like you're the provider. I 100% agree with that. You shouldn't be divulging all your details, of your life and trials and tribulations to your patients, especially during their appointment. But there has to be there's a fine line where you can have empathy and sympathy for your patients and reveal that, be open about that so that you can connect and have that therapeutic rapport. I think being too cold and robotic, like an automaton, is not the way. Some patients you might have to do that, especially if they're very, very, sorry, the wind. See, especially if they're very dependent on others, for validation or for connection. You want to tread that very carefully with them, so you might have to be a little colder and a little more robotic about it, so then you can set boundaries. Basically, it's complicated, and you have to take it. It's a tailored fit approach to each patient. But I think showing that human side of you and being able to relate helps establish and deepen therapeutic rapport. So, I just want to share a little bit about myself because I'm a very open person. I'm a very transparent person. And when I speak from my heart with like what I've said, the access of head, heart, body, spirit alignment, when you can speak with that good alignment with it, when that access of all those four things are, they're very much in tune with each other. You're operating from a beautiful place. That's your higher self. And so I want to be able to do that so then I can hopefully have my message resonate with more people. Okay. So I'm sharing some of this stuff, in hopes that people will see that I'm a genuine provider. I'm a genuine person. And I mean, I've indicated this in previous posts and videos, but I mean, the past several years have been hard. They've been difficult for so many people, but I'm just speaking personally. Every area and facet of my life felt like it was under attack or it was crumbling. You know, I stood up for my beliefs. When I became a Hindu, my belief system around everything, socio-political stuff, religious stuff, relationship, mental health, like the healthcare industry, like everything changed. And for the better, in my opinion. But with that came like a lot of crises, a lot of things just falling apart left and right. When I stood up for my beliefs against the mandates and the jab during the height of the coup era, over 90% of my professional and social circle disowned me. And I did the same thing with all the socio-political unrest and division. I stood up for what I believe, and it comes from being a Hindu. It has nothing to do with socio-political alliances, and that's what Americans and Westerners really have a hard time separating. Is I'm not operating from any alliance with socio-political like parties or people. I'm operating, as I believe, as a Hindu and Sanatana Dharma and what upholds Dharma. So, and a lot of people don't understand that. They don't. And especially Westerners with the dichotomous thinking, the black and white thinking, they really just don't get it. And that's okay. And I'm here going forward trying to educate people to get out of that black and white thinking and to get out of this is not loyalty, but servitude to certain people and parties. Okay, like y'all can see, like I have the Molon Latte. That's the Greek for come and take it, right? And then I have my gun rights organization hat. Like I just got done working out, but it looked pretty good. Like I got like matching shoes and shorts and all that. But if anybody doesn't like that that's watching this, you you don't have to keep watching this. You don't have to subscribe. That's fine. That's your choice. But I am a Second Amendment like champion, and I will die for that right and fight for everybody to have that, not just in America. Like that's a God-given right. So, and plus, I love firearms. They're great. I love learning about them. It's it's a good sporting event as well, like shooting competitions and stuff like that, and training drills. Like, it's fun and it's empowering. And I want all people, gay, straight, pansexual, whatever, like men, women, younger, older people, like everybody, disabled, like empower yourself. If y'all don't like that, you can all go kick rocks. Go kick rocks. I don't care. But I'm going to be me and I'm going to be authentically me. So, and I want to empower other people to be their authentic selves, but not because of this BS false empowerment that other people are peddling to get them to somehow feel secure with themselves. Like, oh, okay, see, other people, I got other people to believe what I believe. Yeah, 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 we're showing it to the man or to this person or this party. Like, those people are just lost and hurt, and that's where they're operating from, not their higher self. And I'm trying to get y'all to think that way. Like, nobody knows how, like, I don't fit a typical mold. And I've been that way since I was a kid. And I am fucking proud of that. I haven't done it specifically like people in Portland or Seattle try to do, like, to be weird for weird's sake. And that's how you fit in, by not fitting in. No, I've followed my heart. And and when you have that good head, heart, body, spirit alignment, you will feel more and more secure with yourself. And this ties back in. I know it seems like it's a, tangential, another one of Arjun's tangential sidebars, but this ties in with looking within and introspecting, reflecting, processing, getting in touch with your intuition, because your intuition is your higher self, the voice from your higher self speaking to you. But you have to be careful not to confuse that. Sorry, like my arms are like sore. But you have to be careful not to confuse that with knee-jerk reactionary behaviors, like that are coming usually from a place of hurt, dysfunction, confusion, loneliness, right, despair, trauma. Because that can sometimes feel, sorry, like a knee-jerk. Sorry, I'm getting a report coming in. That's kind of what it looks like, right? Yes, Susan in the studio. So it can feel like that knee-jerk reaction sometimes could be your intuition trying to save you from a dangerous situation. But if there's no like immediate danger, right? Like you're not in trouble. Like there's no crazy axe wielding like murderer like hot on your heels, or a tiger, ravenous tiger like after you, or flames all around you and you wake up in bed. You need to take a moment, and this is hard to do, I know it, I know, but you need to take a moment and reground yourself into the present and say to yourself, okay, I'm not in danger. It feels like I am, but okay, I'm safe, right? Just do some deep breathing. Okay? Like I've said before, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Feel the ground beneath your feet, right? Take your shoes off if you can go outside, go barefoot into the grass, right? And do whatever you need to do to just tamp things down, reground yourself, and try to connect to the intuition. Try to get the voices, all the ancillary, potentially useless voices swarming around your brain there, to quiet down. And then your intuition, it could be very direct, but it shouldn't be like screaming at you like a crazy hysterical person, okay? It should be saying, hey, buddy, I know you feel hurt right now. I know you feel scared, lonely, abandoned, whatever, but you're okay. And it's understandable that you feel that way, but I need you to listen to me. And when you start hearing that inner voice talk to you, right? that's a good sign that you're probably in touch with your intuition, because it will tell you some things too that might be hard truths to swallow. But when you leave your head and heart, spirit, and your body open to receiving those messages, even if it's a hard truth, you'll probably be like, yeah, I know, you're right. You're right. Okay. You'll be able to have a more of a peaceful dialogue. And even if you get worked up again, right? Reground yourself. The thing about mindfulness, um, that needs to be reinforced constantly to people, because they try it and they give up, because it's very hard. Like, even for me being like a Hindu, where mindfulness really comes from, like even me being a Hindu, when I'm doing my prayers and my pujas or my ceremony, like, you know, devotion to the gods, and I'm trying to connect with the gods, which are archetypes in everybody's psyche and parts of their soul. Like, I just, constant, like, random, thoughts, or getting sidetracked, or, distracted. And that's going to happen, especially when you are pulled in so many directions, and in this crazy world that we live in, with so many distractions and so many obstacles and problems, and then also tantalizing, like, joys and all these fun things that we could be doing. um, and there's all these things that can just really take us away from being grounded. And the point of mindfulness is not that you're going to become like some sadhu, or like monk, or Zen monk, like up in the Himalayas, like just like on a rock or a boulder, just like at peace, right? Like eyes mostly closed, and there could be like wind and blizzard, and you're just like sitting there all peaceful. No, that's not the point. The point is, every time a distraction tries to pull you away from that, you recognize it. As soon as you can, recognize it and be like, get back here, right? And pull that focus back to centering yourself and being in touch with your intuition, right? Being in touch with your higher self, your spirit. So, and you might have to do that 5, 10, 50 times, when you're just sitting there trying to meditate or pray or whatever it is, that helps you get grounded and connected to yourself. Some people like to use like adult coloring books and doodle or crochet or go on a run. I don't care what it is that you do, as long as it's safe for you and other people. Do it. If that helps you get connected, like me doing my art, me working out, that really helps me focus, and drown out a lot of other things. Um, so, do what you need to do, as long as it is safe and respectful towards yourself and other people. And like, go with that, right? And then every time you get, something's pulling your attention away, you get distracted. As soon as you catch yourself doing that, be like, okay, back, back, back. And the more you practice doing that, the better you'll get at it, and the longer you'll have, your focus and attention on getting all that access, in alignment. All right. And it's okay. Some people might, they just might be in a headspace, or a space in life where they can do that more quickly and efficiently than other people. You have to look at yourself as not the same as anybody else's situation or their makeup. Right? I'm not talking about like cosmetics. I'm talking about like how their wiring is in their brain, like where they're at in life, right? Because everybody's situation is different. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap, but you have to have some grace. Remember, I've said this before, you have to give yourself grace, okay? And be like, I'm not perfect, I'm flawed, but from those flaws, I can accomplish a lot of things. I can overcome things, because I'm recognizing that there may be, flaws or setbacks or shortcomings. but I can turn that into accomplishments. So getting back to every time you feel like you have a setback, you fail, you fall, you just have to try to get back up, even if it's ugly, even if it takes you longer than the person next to you. You know, the Christopher Nolan, I think it's Batman Begins, you know, when Bruce Wayne as a kid falls down the well into the Batcave and his father comes and, you know, rescues him. Um, little Bruce is like, you know, I fell. He was embarrassed and ashamed, and his father was like, you know, basically saying like, that's all right. And he's like, why do we fall? So we can learn how to get back up. Because if you've just been successful your whole life, or really not had many trials, tribulations, setbacks, as you get older, that gets much harder to overcome. And it's amazing when people do, and when they're older and have like their world falls apart or there's major crises, seeing them overcome that, because they were not equipped from an early age on how to deal with crises, with trauma. So I do actually have empathy and sympathy for those people, um, because it's a shocker. Like people like me and I would say a lot of the people close to me in my life, or that have been close to me in my life, many of them have significant trauma since childhood. I mean, I always say we were forged in the fires of the belly of the beast. We were battle tested from an early age. And I mean, especially some of the things that we've been through, like the fact that, you know, we're still alive and we're still trying to kick butt is a testament to our strength and our resiliency, and also like just the kind of people we are, because we're good people. And you know, I have said to people too, it's interesting watching some people like have relatively like smooth lives up until they're like middle aged or so, and then something happens like a major divorce, you know, and there's like big house, kids, you know, like or like, you know, someone gets like a really gnarly cancer or disease or an accident, um, you know, and even lesser things like, which are still big, but not like getting like a, you know, an accident where you're like, you know, paralyzed from the neck down or something. But they like lose their job, or they find their spouse cheating on them. It's like seeing like those people fall apart. Like you kind of understand, and it would make anybody do that. But if they've not gone through a lot since childhood, like they have a very hard time dealing with that. Um, and a lot of people just want to ignore the elephant in the room, and just try to go on like, oh, it's not a big deal. So you have that group of people who are in delusional denial, as I call it. Like it's denial to another degree, where they're going to try to like make themselves like the fake it till you make it. I made a video on this, and everything's fine, everything's great, everything's okay, you know, nothing to worry about. And I feel bad for those people because they're not living their most authentic life, because they're stuffing things down. And then when they're rewriting history to help them with embolden their false empowered ego or persona, most of those people like don't realize until very late in life they wasted their life, and or they may not even ever try to face it, and they die that way. So I'm not really sure. I just don't think that's an authentic life. But the people that get very affected by it, they crumble because they were not equipped to handle something like that. And I do feel for those people as well, because it's like, if you can overcome this with having very little experience, you know, not having the tools to know how to navigate hardships like that and crises, but if you can overcome that, it's a beautiful thing. Same thing with people who have come from really broken childhoods, and seeing them overcome to have, and it's usually more towards like the later half of their life, or once they're like 30s, 40s and beyond, where things start to come together for them in a peaceful way, because they've found the peace within. And it's like what I've said, you got to focus on the changes, internal changes first, and then you'll see the world around you unfold, and it will change. So yeah, this weather might storm. I didn't really look at the weather today, the forecast, but it's like blue skies and sunny first half, and then suddenly it's just getting stormy. I don't know. That could be that could have a deeper meaning there, making this video. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, but I just want you to remember, we fall so then we can learn how to get back up. Take this as a learning moment. Be brave, have courage, ground yourself, and start introspecting, reflecting, processing, digesting. Try to get those useless ancillary voices to quiet down, and try to get in touch with your intuition, because from there you'll start to have a direction. Okay, this is how I'm gonna get back up, right? I need to use a prop, or I'm gonna have to roll over and go this way. I'm just speaking, not literally, right? But you'll find a direction to go in, and even if it seems like, well, that was the wrong decision, at least you're trying, and at least you're moving. If you become stagnant, or you just let yourself fall down further and further, it's just going to make it harder and harder. But you got this. I made a video recently, get it, get it, get it, get it. If you don't want to be stuck in that hole, in that ditch, you don't want to be stuck in the muck, the piss and the blood, and the pain and the sorrow, then get it. Get up and get to work. You got this. All right? I've seen it. I feel like I've done it myself, and I've seen other people do it, and people that have been in much harder situations than me. And if they can do it, if we can do it, you can do it too. And then you'll have something to boast and brag about. It'll be your braggadocio. All right? You will be able to say, don't be arrogant about it, but you'll be like, man, that almost made me give up completely. But I fucking got my ass up and I went to work. And it was hard and it was long. People abandoned me. People chose other people over me. People even tried to purposely hurt me and prevent me from getting better. But I showed them. And now they have to watch me blow up. They have to watch me thrive and be happy and have true joy and true healing. And then I hope that kind of inspires them to do the same, to stop being a POS and get to work for themselves. Have that wish. More people do that, we'll have less problems in this world. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Just know that there are other people, whether I know you or not, you know me or not, there are people like me that genuinely wish for your success. But we want you to be in your higher self first. Don't be falsely empowered and go off of your ego or some BS persona. Connect with your higher self and go get it. We're rooting for you. Many blessings to you all, truly. Talk to you next time.